One of the greatest success stories in the StarTech Ventures journey is Yodeck. So we're here with Vangelis Mihalopoulos, the founder, the co-founder and CEO at Yodeck. It would be very interesting to share, a few things about the journey of Yodeck. So Vangelis, can you please share how did you come up with the Yodeck idea? There was an earlier business, so please share how did you come up with that?
So actually, in the past, in an earlier venture, we had a kind of a project that had to do with digital signage. And at some point, there was a kind of an opportunity to build a similar kind of service. Again, for a one-off project based on this specific hardware platform that we're using with the Raspberry Pi. So we did build that. Actually, that project never really took off. So we kind of rebuilt it and repurposed the platform in order to make it available to the global market as a high-velocity digital signage cloud-based service.
So that's very interesting, because what I can see is that you guys were already part of the StarTech Ventures organization, and you were really ready to pivot and make a very significant pivot at the moment that, first of all, you had realized that what you were working on already was not really taking off, and there was some semi-validated idea from the market that there might be demand with digital signage. So the fact that you guys pivoted very fast, that alone is very, very interesting. And can we describe the first few months? How did you come up with the product, and how did you really reach out to the first early adopters?
In our case, we initially targeted the Raspberry Pi community. So we did, dive into the competition for this specific hardware platform. We did show an opportunity there, right? Because we felt that we could build a much better service on that hardware.
And did the customers came to you, or you really reached out to the customers, or was it inbound marketing?
It was mostly inbound. So we posted the service on a few beta software listing sites. We did do some minor content marketing, and we did promote it online. But whenever you were searching, because the competition, the specific platform was rather small, there were not a lot of vendors. So whenever someone was looking for a solution based on the specific hardware, we did came really, really high, in Google search and organically, let's say.
It's very interesting, I think, for our audience to understand the relevance between the fact that the Yodeck was part of a venture building organization and the scale of the business. So how many people were working only for Yodeck until the first few paying customers?
So we actually were 2 people working on the product. The third team member came on board just a few months before we launched the beta. So actually we could even launch it even without the third member. It took us about 18 months, something like that, while doing some side work, to actually make a living. So I think we were really efficient, really cash flow positive. Within after 10 months after the first customer, and within the organization, as you said, it allowed us to focus solely on the product. So the StarTech Ventures and this venture building organization that it encompasses, we did took advantage of it, and we did got the website. We really didn't work on that ourselves. We did all the content marketing, all the paid promotion, and performance marketing. All of the other services that are required in order to set up a company.
Absolutely.
Legal, accounting, all of this.
Vangelis, that's really impressive, because with a company of 3 or 4 people, not only you achieved profitability, which alone it's something that the majority of startups never achieves. So with only 4 people, you became profitable soon, in a matter of months, and then since then the company keeps doubling more or less every year. So it keeps growing very, very nicely. So that's a great proof that it's not necessary to raise huge financing, and it's not necessary, you can create a company that will grow in the long run in the build, measure, learn way.
Exactly.
So with the venture building, partnership, you manage to focus on your product and your customers, while let's say the rest of the noise, in a way, was taken care by the StarTech Ventures team.
Exactly. That was super useful, and it allowed us, as you said, to focus exclusively on the product and what we are best at, because we're not best at building websites or doing marketing. At that point we were best at building software. That's what we knew to do, and that's what we were focusing on. And also, just to reiterate what you mentioned, funding, while not required and not necessary, would kind of accelerate things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But as you said, it wasn't necessary. So that was a kind of an option. There was optionality for us.
Optionality is a key word.
Yeah.
So founders should, somehow preserve their optionality.
Exactly. So we didn't have to take money. We chose not to. But if we were to take on money, we could definitely speed up the growth of the business. And that would be perfectly fine as well.
Perfectly fine. Absolutely. Within StarTech Ventures, we talk all the time about the Lean Startup methodology. In Yodeck, did you really apply Lean Startup, and how did this feedback loop, the build, measure, learn cycle, work in your case?
In our case, we were launching on a community, so the feedback we were getting was pretty good. We did reach out to a lot of customers, and we were getting feedback from them from a very early stage. We actually launched even something like 2 months as beta prior to start billing for the service. So in that we used that time frame to collect a lot of feedback. And going forward, we were constantly observing customers, using heat maps in the app, what they were using, what they were not using, what might confuse them. We were doing, we were exchanging emails, and even now, 7 years after we launched, we continue to gather feedback, even from the thousands of customers that we have right now through automated tools. Voting for features, suggesting new ideas and new extensions to the service. And this way, we can get, kind of a pulse of what our market really, really needs and what we should prioritize on.